Our dear listeners, those who follow us, on the orchard of marriage, I welcome you all in the name of God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I want to say, may the good Lord bless you wherever you are listening in from, wherever you watch us from. This time I have brought another good message that is sweet for all of us that can change our marriages. And I'm saying that, fight for your marriage. Yes, fight for your marriage. I don't know how I can bring it better, but you have seen this movie across, several times. The movie of Fight for Your Marriage. Maybe there are even more than one. There are many titles, even your books that have been written about, fight for your marriage, encouraging us to fight for a marriage. And what can we say? When they say that fight your marriage, they are trying to say that at whatever circumstance, at whatever time, especially when life is getting hard in your marriage, you need to come up with a mind of I cannot lose my spouse, I cannot accept to lose my spouse, I cannot accept to lose this marriage. Hmm? I am ready to do all it takes. I cannot lose this marriage. I cannot lose this spouse. I cannot see it go. So you're fighting, go on, you're focusing, go on, you're looking up forward, and you're saying, I cannot lose my marriage or let it go. Yes, dear friends, you are encouraged to be strengthened by each other, to focus on each other, and you are saying, I cannot lose my marriage. I cannot lose my marriage. There those times maybe I saw somewhere on some group, a couple, the wife was complaining and was like, this husband lost a job a year ago and has been around, he has not got another job. I am tired of feeding an old man. I am tired of feeding an adult. I am tired of taking care of an adult. So we are talking in terms of such a moment, dear friends. How do you handle your marriage? How do you handle your marriage relationship? When maybe one of you has lost a job and has been at home for some time, or maybe someone has not had a job since they started, or someone whose business corrupts their friends, and they go and they come back empty-handed. And dear friends, this is why we are saying fight for your marriage. Temptations will come, challenges will come. You feel you are not valued enough, you feel you are not appreciated enough, you feel you are not a man enough, you're not a woman enough. But I want to tell you, this is where I am saying that you need to fight for your marriage. Fighting for your marriage is about that, dear friends. That almost every other time, every other day, marriages will go through testing. They'll go through hurdles, they'll go through challenges, they'll be tested in several ways. In several ways. You'll be there at a younger tender, at a younger age. Maybe you are 5 years, 6 years in marriage, few years in marriage, and maybe one of you is diagnosed with cancer. Maybe one of you is diagnosed with some diabetes. These complicated issues, these life-threatening illnesses, health complications. Dear friends, I'm saying, what do you do in such a moment? What do you do in such a moment? Maybe your wife went to theater to give birth to a child and went when she was okay, but she came out with a disability. After giving birth to this child, came out with a disability that she has had to live with it all her life. So, dear friends, I want to challenge you. There are such a moments where the message of fighting for your marriage comes through. But maybe you could also be at a moment where your spouse is so deep in addictions that are bringing down your marriage, addictions that are affecting your intimacy, your relationship. You are tired of each other, you've lost all the hope and the faith in each other, and you feel like maybe this is the time to let it go. Maybe you were not meant to be married to each other, dear friend. And I want to tell you this is where God is calling you to fight for your marriage. Stand in the face of the Lord. Fight a good fight of faith. We are not picking up any other weapons, but we are picking up the weapons of faith to fight and say, we will overcome. That moment when you have irreconcilable differences. Reconcilable differences. There are some things you've tried to work on, to bring you together, to connect the two of you, to make sure you can connect them. But every time there's a lot of disrespect, there's a lot of prejudice in your marriage, there's a lot of no love, you're so dried, there's no love with each other, dear friends, there's no flowing juice in your marriage. In your marriage. And that's when we are saying that pick up yourself and fight for your marriage. You can make it. Pick up yourself and fight for your marriage. You can make it, dear friends, and you can overcome. Maybe have you tried to do communication and you have failed several times? Maybe you're trying to communicate with each other, but it's like you are always, at the wrong point, always, irrelevant to each other, always, communicating what is, I mean, you are far different from each other. Far different. Your spouse always understands you very different, picks you very different. And I want to tell you, those are moments sometimes you need to stand up and fight for your marriage. These addictions, sometimes the devil will bring them in to make sure to keep convincing you every other day you are not meant for each other. You cannot make it. You will not make it. This is not for you. Forget about it. You need to stand up and pray to God, believe in God, pursue godliness, and continue calling on the grace of God. Prayer will save you, dear friends. And that's what we are saying. Marriage is work, dear friends. Marriage takes an effort. It takes an effort, and that is intentional. Marriage takes commitment that is intentional. Several times you'll meet ways, you'll meet things. There's this couple that used to have a lot of issues. Each time we went in a marriage fellowship, they had a lot of pulling ropes, a lot of stretching, a lot of attacking each other. Attacking each other. Can you imagine your husband does this and this? Can you imagine the wife who does this and this? Can you imagine comes home late like this? Can you imagine telling you this and this? Can you imagine perceiving you like this and this? Dear friend, those will be there. But I want to tell you, fight for your marriage. Have the right heart, have the right faith, have the right belief, believe in God, and keep that direction fighting on. You'll make it. Yes, you'll make it. Your spouse may not be a good communicator. Your spouse may not be a good communicator, may not be anywhere close to you. You may have a lot of challenges around you, dear friends. But I want to tell you, do your best. Don't give up. Don't give up. Marriage needs people who will not be able to give up. That's why they say that marriage is not for the boys. It also means marriage cannot be for the girls. They also say that marriage is not for the weak. Yes, not for the weak. You must be strong. And that strength comes from the Lord God, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who initiated marriage and created marriage. That he saw Adam and he said, Man, it is not good for a man to live alone. It is not good for a man to be alone. And he created him a helper. You need someone to help you. You need the helper by your side. Be a friend who is helping. You need someone to stand with you, to be a good leader to you, a good encourager, a good motivator. Yes, that is when marriage makes sense. So fight for your marriage. Fight for your marriage, dear friend. This mentality of fighting for your marriage, this concept of fighting your marriage, it means you need to have good confidence. You need to be a man and woman of a good heart. You need to have faith in what you are doing. You need to believe God is by your side, and you will make it, your friend. And this faith comes from God. That God is on for your marriage. Don't let anything against your marriage tear you apart. Don't let anything break you down. No, your friends, fight for your marriage. Fight for your marriage. Once in a while, you'll meet issues that, they're trying to test your patience. Have you heard of that statement? That you are testing my patience. You'll feel like, I think I've been mocked, enough is enough. I think I've been devalued, enough is enough. I think I've been disrespected, enough is enough. I think I've been tested and tried, enough is enough. Now I must rise up and reject this and refuse this. So, dear friends, may the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord encourage you. You need to stand. You need to stand and fight for your marriage. Let me tell you, there are many things that are competing for your marriage. Social media is competing for the space in your marriage. Neighbors are competing for space in your marriage. Relatives are competing for space in your marriage. There's a lot that's competing for space in your marriage. Leave alone things like demons and evil spirits from our background, from where we are coming from. Things like witchcraft is real, dear friends. Witchcraft is real. It will come to attack your marriage. So you need to be a man and a woman of prayer, man and woman who have chosen to believe in God. And know in God will stand, in God will overcome. God is my friend, He will make it for me. Maybe you need to know, dear friends, yeah, there is some statistics in the US that is outside there that was saying, let me share some statistics that said that 41% of married couples in the US are likely to end in a divorce. Yes, 41% of the married couples in the United States of America are likely to end in divorce. That's a very big figure, very big figure. That that is close to 50%. that out of 100 couples that have married, 41 couples will end in divorce. That's so much heartbreaking. That's so much heartbreaking, dear friends. You know, and in Uganda, is it any better? In Uganda, our divorce rate has been increasing day by day. Some statistics outside there, it says that, over the last 10 years, our divorce rate has increased by 80%. Not 80% of every married couple, but from where we were 10 years back, where the divorce rate was, to where it is now, the difference is by 82%. Yes, by 82%. If we had maybe, 10 couples divorcing every year, now maybe you're talking of like 18 couples every year. Talking of like 18 couples every year. So, dear friends, we are saying that is not nice. You're trying to say, stand up for your marriage. It is not easy. It is not easy. We have to fight on. There's this statistics, by, I think it was Daily Monitor, the newspaper, somewhere 20 November there, November last year, 2025, that 1,307 in that year alone, previous year, 2025, 1,307 couples by September had divorced. Those, those members, those individuals had divorced. Those cases of divorce, that is so much a big number, dear friends. Also, that's so much a big number. 1,307 had the cases of divorce. At the courts. So, and there are so many that are not even registered. Uganda, we are still struggling with registrations, with the records. People will divorce outside there. You may even say those ones who divorce without coming to court. See, they are more than those who come to court. Most likely, yes. So 1,307 they had divorced by September 2025. So I want to challenge you, dear friends, and they say that of all those divorces, 1,307 divorce cases that had been registered between January to September, 80% had been filed by women. So when we say fight for your marriage, we are trying to bring out such a statistics that 1,307 divorce cases just in 1 year. That's January to September of the previous year, and out of these, 80% had been found by women. Could there be impatience now? Are we having mistreatment now? Are we having, extramarital relationship, addictions? All those, there are issues around the divorce. There are issues around divorce, dear friends. Mistrust and dishonest with each other, dishonest deeds. So I want to challenge you, and I want to call upon us, dear friends, that we need to stand. And that is in Uganda. That's in Uganda, dear friends. Also, in the statistics, I think the last census we had, was it 2024? I don't know. Yes. It showed that 370 individuals reported to have experienced divorce. We are a nation, by then we were around 45 million people. By now, they estimate we are around 52 million people. 2026 statistics out there estimate Uganda to be around 52 million people. By the time they did census in 2024, around 45 people. That means our population is growing so fast. For some reason, unfortunately, the divorce rate is also growing so fast. So 13% of ever married women reported to have divorced or separated. 13% of the previous census, 2024. 13% of the women reported to have ever separated or divorced. Maybe they're in the second marriage, third marriage, or they are just single mothers outside there, but they reported to have divorce. So, dear friends, I want to challenge us. What we are talking about fighting for your marriage is real. 13% is not a small number. For example, of 52 million people or 45 million people. That's a good number. It's a good number. At least we are talking of 45 million people. You are likely to be talking of, more than 4 million. So, dear friends, I want to challenge us that we need to fight for a marriage. It is real. In Uganda, 7% adults are currently divorced or separated. Currently, around 7%. That's the statistic that is outside there. So I want to challenge you, dear friends. When we say fight for your marriage, it is real. You're talking of separation and divorce. You're talking of mistreatment. We are talking of, having harassment. You're talking of, these mistrusts and dishonesty causing harassment and, fights against each other. I am talking about this such that whenever your marriage, you see it as a threat, you see your marriage, being, threatened by anything, just know that the divorce could be the fight behind. The divorce spirit could be what is behind, waiting to declare a win, waiting to declare a victory over your marriage. So I want to challenge you and I want to call upon you, dear friends, that these statistics are not nice, they are not good. You need to stand up. You need to stand up and say no. You need to stand up and say no. So, dear friends, shall you stand up? Shall you stand up, dear friends, and fight for your marriage? Your marriage will be tested. It will be tested. You reach a time when you look at each other as a stranger. You reach each other and you cannot talk at all. You reach each other, your spouse has a car and you did not know. You reach somewhere and you know your spouse has a lot of money on the account and you had no idea at all. Actually, you've been struggling and borrowing. You have had cases, you're renting a house only to find this house you are renting is for your wife. You're renting, the landlord is your wife, but you came to know far later. Different these cases happen. So that's why I will say fight for your marriage. Myself believe that the battles around marriage are not just a logical way, are not just people with hardened hearts, are not just about people do not want to build a marriage, do not want a good marriage. But my belief is that there is an enemy, there's a spiritual warfare. There is warfare. There is a spiritual warfare. They are powers of darkness, powers, the rulers of this earth. They are powers that rule this earth into darkness. They are forces, they are principalities that rule this earth that are causing trouble to your marriage. And to every marriage. They keep testing every marriage. They keep checking every marriage. Each time you fail to agree on your financial transactions or your financial life, your business life, each time you fail to agree on, taking a month without making love with each other, dear friends, without having sex with each other, how normal is that? And sometimes there's nothing big to explain. Sometimes there's nothing big to explain that, dear friends. Each one having their own money and they're holding on it. Yet you are married, you are intimate with each other, you are doing everything to each other, but you are hiding money from each other. What is that? What is that, dear friend? So may the good Lord have mercy on us. May the good Lord fight for us that we can overcome these hurdles, we can overcome this challenge. 70% divorce rate of in our country now. That is very high. It was around 3% for long, it was around 4% for long, but now you're talking of 7%, and it is going higher and higher. Even religiously married people, they have had this. This is not just about people who do not know God. Even us who claim to know God, we have had this before. So fight for your marriage is a real message. Fight for your marriage is a real gospel that you need at your marriage. To say, I will not let it go. I will not let it go out of my hand. I will not let it disappear. So you fight on and you believe in, you trust in, and you're like, I will not let it overcome me. You still believe in your God. That yes, it is possible. That yes, He is able. And He will make you go through this, dear friends. Our God is able when you trust in Him. So I want to challenge you. That's why we try to be so innovative. We try to make sure our spouse is my concentration. My spouse is my subject of study. My spouse. You invest in your spouse. You invest in your marriage. When we are talking of retreats, we are talking of a marriage fellowship. We are talking of taking each other out. You invest in your marriage. Buying food at home and building a home, having maybe a car. You have land and other assets, dear friend. It is not enough. You need to invest in each other. You need to invest in each other, dear friends. You need to meet this speaker. There are many speakers who can talk to you about marriage, and all your ears are open. It's like they've opened the whole world to you. Yes, they've opened the whole world to you. Those of you are going towards retirement, are going towards retirement. I want to challenge you. Even your age is catching up with you. You are in the 50s, you are in the 60s. You need all the time to be innovative.